I have read Judith Butler.
You told me that you hadn't. That's so crazy.
I have read so many books in the past.
Oh my god, so many. Yeah, I bet.
Okay.
It's so funny because like it's so funny when I call you out on the shit that's actually true that you say.
I don't remember saying that just now.
That's crazy. Maybe you were high.
You said that you would never read Judith Butler because on feminism because she's non-binary.
But what do you? No. Don't go into what you think. I want to know more about what performativity is, according to Judith Butler. Since you've read like Gender Trouble, so you should know this in depth.
So she was saying that language is the realest thing according to Butler, and you were saying no, that's not actually what Butler says. And then you were saying that actually language creates reality, and so I'm asking you to like verbally separate those two.
And Butler claims that we're in a theoretical realm beyond the frameworks of materialism and idealism. I do not agree.
What is idealism and what is materialism?
I do not agree with saying there is no meaningful distinction between, like, matter. Boots. This is wind-needing behavior. Boots, this is
because they're not the same thing, but if you're treating them as the same, I will speak in your language.
This is wind-needing behavior. This is wind-needing behavior. Relax.
Yeah, I messaged her and told her she can. There she is.
Hey, buddy.
Hi.
There she is.
I don't want to get too personal, but this idea that I'm somehow ruining feminism when you were dating a man who has posted photos of me without makeup to harass me. Girl, you are not a feminist. You're a victim. You're a victim. Dude, you're so fake. You're so dishonest. You've been dishonest this whole time. You are a TERF. Okay.
I was you 6 months ago, and you've been reading about this on Wikipedia for the past 3 months.
Yeah, Wikipedia. That's where I've been fucking reading. Also, plug. I'm making a video essay. It's coming out in a week and a half.
It's that so performative language. The initial performative language is when a child is born, and the doctor says it's a boy or it's a girl. This is what like creates this standard by which we feel like we have to conform to.
No.
And
so Judith Butler is a post-modernist, post-structuralism, gender queer theorist. Okay, and
she's saying like performing acts.
So performativity theory means that reality.
I love that I literally just said what performative language is.
No,
that is how she defines performative language, and you tell me I'm wrong.
I haven't even said what the performativity theory is, babe. Relax. But what I think is more compelling is Simone de Beauvoir's definition of all of this, which is basically that one is not. It's the opening line that one is not born a woman, one becomes one, and I think that is extremely compelling.
So I feel like you don't have as good of an understanding as you think you do.
Baby, you're doing a really bad job of trying to not make this about me, I'll be honest. I love the attention. I love what you're doing. I love your work.
Nobody in this space is ever going to take you seriously. Everything you say is laughed off.
When I do start bossing up, we're back, baby. We are so back, baby. And you're going to fall into obscurity with your dumb little fucking boyfriend. And you're going to cry.
Already in obscurity. I'm not.
I'm going to laugh at you, Boots. I'm going to laugh at you.
I don't know why you would do that when I'm just coming on to defend ideas that you say that you agree with.
Dude, you have a half-baked idea. You are saying that my ideas are regurgitated from Wikipedia or from other people. I don't know how the fuck else you gain knowledge besides reading other people's words or by or going to people's seminars or watching people's lectures.
I do a lot of reading. Yeah.
I bet. Wait, enemies to lovers?
Yeah, no. Not enemies to lovers. I'm not even your enemy. I just don't care. I just don't want you to talk about stuff that you don't understand.
Girl, you don't understand half the shit you're saying. You didn't even know what Judith Butler's fucking performativity theory was. That is literally the baseline to talk about this shit.
So when you talk about performative language, I gave the example that Judith Butler gave. What are you talking about?
Theory.
You said she didn't know what the performativity was. And it is a theory, but there's also a definition to the theory. And she was saying that she was giving a definition to the theory, and you said she didn't know the definition. But what she's describing is essentially what it is that Judith Butler is describing, right?
It's not
No.
essentially. It's like this is
No. Boots is talking about gender roles. All of my knowledge is from the Wikipedia page. I actually have
I
no
mean,
passion.
I don't know if you have read Judith Butler.
I haven't read Judith Butler. Judith Butler's a retard. But I know what her performativity theory is because you have to. It's mentioned in other books. Judith Butler's retarded. I think that Judith Butler is just like wrong. I'm not going to listen to a non-binary person talk about fucking feminism.
So, in the footnotes of the second sex, it talks about how in French, around the time that Simone de Beauvoir said that you become a woman, they're not sure if she was saying you become a woman or you become woman. And so one of the things that you said is that people misquote her to make it sound like she didn't like as though she believes in gender. But throughout the book, it sounds like she believes in gender. Well, you made it sound like she believes in like sex all overall and not.
No. So actually, Simone de Beauvoir is one of the first times we hear about gender in feminist theory whatsoever. Simone de Beauvoir definitely understood and thought that gender was real. I know that gender is real. I just think it's fucking stupid. I think it's regressive. Like, I just think that giving gender more merit. So Simone de Beauvoir talks about it in the scope of it becoming an imposition on women. More so than like something that naturally exists.
Well, she talks a lot about it being an imposition on women. Yes.
Yes.
Of course.
Yes.
So,
Boots wants to join. What is that? What does that silly girl want to talk about?
I assume she disagrees with some of the stuff that you're saying.
Okay, bring her on.
All right. Hold on. Wait, Boots, what are you talking about? You can't believe I'm doing what?
Well, you were ignoring all of my messages from all of the like shit that Lav is talking that is total nonsense. Like it's clear that she doesn't. Okay, wait, hang on. You know, actually, yeah, I know. So I DM'd you when Lav first started talking nonsense. I don't want to get super hot coming in because Lav did that when she first came in with me. I just want to say that she clearly doesn't understand Sunday's argument, and she's like totally misrepresenting it, and you haven't really pushed her on it, so I want you to.
Push me on it, Boots.
And I want to. Yeah, so what do you think like the distinction that Sunday is trying to impress upon you between sex and gender is?
He's trying to say that what matters more than the physical actuality of something.
What does that mean?
What does physical actuality mean?
Yeah.
Like what we can see, feel, touch, empirically observe.
Right, but all of that is like, yeah, so what we see, feel, touch, whatever is informed through language.
Sure, sometimes, but like
no, always.
A rock, even if we aren't looking at it and describing it, still exists as a rock.
Oh, okay. So yeah, like I don't think that Judith Butler would agree with you. I don't think that Sunday. I don't know if he would agree with you, but I don't think that that's what Butler would say.
Yeah, Butler's retarded and also a horrible writer.
Right, and somebody that you haven't read, right?
I have read Judith Butler.
You told me that you hadn't. That's so crazy.
I can bring in my books right
Yeah,
now.
you can. I'm sure that they will have like so many different bookmarks of like different important passages that you've thought are like super important as you've read, and like done tons of highlights and like notes and shit that you've
written. At first I didn't read it. Now
I'm just kidding.
Know whether or not I
think that you probably
explicated
bought
and
it.
annotated it?
I think that you probably just bought it to take pictures with it because you told me in our last conversation that
Have
you
you
had
seen
a
any pictures
Butler.
of it?
No, not yet. I mean, I don't generally look up pictures of you, but I'm sure that that's probably why you have it.
Okay.
So
I'm fairly
last time,
certain Boots is right.
time
I
we
could have sworn
talked,
you did say that
you said that
didn't
you
read
would
it last
never
time.
I have
read
read-
Butler.
No, I have read Gender Trouble. First of all, I have read
Okay,
Gender Trouble.
you said that you
I have-
hadn't.
I didn't know. Okay, listen. I have read so many books in the past.
Oh my god, so many.
4
I
months.
bet.
Yeah, I've read a lot. I forgot who wrote The Female Eunuch. I forgot who wrote Material Girls. I have read Gender Trouble, but also I will admit that Judith Butler is not a great writer. So
Well, Judith
did not-
Butler
I
is
did
really
not-
tough to read if you don't understand Lacan. So, like, I understand why you think that she would be a terrible
No,
writer.
I think that Judith Butler is widely known as not a great writer.
Widely known. Sounds
yeah.
like a Wikipedia reading to me.
Okay.
It's so funny because like it's so funny when I call you out on the shit that's actually true that you say.
No, you're just saying all of these random jabs, and it's impossible to have a conversation with someone so bad faith where I bring up a book and you're like, and that was from a Wikipedia. It is exhausting.
Okay, so when you say that Judith Butler is widely known to be a bad writer, so I don't think that that's the case, and I don't think that most people think that that's the case. I'm wondering why you think it's the case.
Okay, sure. Let me go back and rewrite my words.
Yeah, please explicate.
Everyone. That's not what explicate means. Everyone who I know who has read Butler has been very unimpressed and confused and what's another good word? No, I think that that's it. Unimpressed and confused. Butler says things that many other people have said before, namely existentialists. But there's no the meat isn't there, and whether or not you believe whether or not you think, and going back to what you were saying was is if Judith Butler would understand or acknowledge physical actuality is neither here nor there. Judith Butler is a theologian. Judith Butler is a philosopher. So there's no that's not you can believe
she's not a biologist, is that what you're saying?
Well, no, but you can but also it's her words. So and my opinion.
Whoa. So that's what all feminist theory is. So are you discounting all of feminist theory?
I take a lot of feminist theory with a grain of salt because
but you should discount all of it, right? Because if it's just their words.
No, I'm not saying that you should discount Judith Butler. I'm saying that is
No, but you said that we should discount Judith Butler. You would never read her because she's non-binary.
I don't remember saying that just now.
That's crazy. Maybe you were high.
You said that you would never read Judith Butler because on feminism because she's non-binary.
Right? Oh, you're talking about the last time we talked.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, yeah. I think that her opinion-wise means very little to me. As I'm sure that I'm sure that Andrea Dworkin means very little to you.
That's not true. I actually really liked Dworkin. So can you tell me what Butler means by performativity?
Performativity theory?
Well, you can call it performativity theory, yeah, but when she's explaining performativity, she means gender performativity. Performativity theory was a thing before Judith Butler.
Yeah, do you want me to give it to you in her own words and then apply it?
Well, so I want you to use words that aren't mine. So the example I gave last time was the marriage. I now pronounce you husband and wife. And you gave that example here in this talk with Tom, which is hilarious because last time you discounted my example and said that I was totally wrong. It's crazy how that happens.
That's not true. When you did that last time, I nodded. I said yes, and also it's a girl, it's a boy. Yeah.
Those are my examples. And you said that I was wrong. So please, you can explain it in your own words.
I did not say that you were wrong, Boots. I said that there are two
Okay.
things. So Judith Butler you are right. Judith Butler would agree that there is no physical actuality. Wants to get rid of
No.
physical actuality. Right?
I don't know what you mean actuality, but sure. We can continue past that.
So Judith Butler thinks the realest thing about living is the language in which informs all of it. I think that is true to an extent.
But what do you? No. Don't go into what you think. I want to know more about what performativity is, according to Judith Butler. Since you've read like Gender Trouble, so you should know this in depth. Oh yeah, I know it's really tough.
So there is no Boots. You are so bad faith. It is so like.
This is literally what you did to her last time. This is
I
literally what you did to her
know.
And I honestly,
remember how upset she was. Remember how upset she was.
I wasn't really upset. You were the more upset one. So I had answers to the questions that you asked me. So actually, I should pull it back a bit. And I'm genuinely, I want to know.
Great. So Butler
because I want to clear up this misunderstanding that you have.
Okay, so Butler asserts that like identity is performatively constituted by expression.
Huh? What does that mean?
I have literally explained this to you at least 3 times at this point.
Well, explain it one more because I'm not really understanding.
So in the dumbest down version, that language is our reality. That is the dumbest downed point. Is that language is our reality. How we describe something and how we express around it is the reality. That is what Butler asserts in Gender Trouble.
That's not even true. I mean, you tried.
True. What is true then?
So it's not only that language is reality, because this is the only way in which we can see reality, see like our experience, but it is that language also creates reality. And this is the important part. This is performativity.
I literally just said that, babe. I literally just said that.
No, you didn't.
I literally just said that. Yes, so this is why I literally said material reality, and then I deconstructed that to physical actuality. But so there's physical actuality, and then there is the reality in which Judith Butler talks about that does not give attention to physical actuality.
That's not.
She thinks that doesn't matter, and she thinks that reality is immaterial. That is what postmodernism, post-structuralism is, Boots.
Okay, hold on.
Wait, hold on. No, Tom, please let me.
No, because I need you to answer.
Ask.
Boots, wait, when she says like that language is the realest thing, like, are you saying that the difference is that it's not just that language is the realest thing, but that it is creating the realest things to us?
Well, okay, so it's kind of hard to explain, and I don't want to go into it like super deep, but Butler goes in, like, uses a Lacanian view of this, in which language is our, like, symbology to explain what we see as the real, which is not the actual real. There is, like, a real behind that.
Am I going crazy, or have I literally just said this? Am I going crazy, Tom?
So,
I don't know. I'm waiting for her to finish.
You haven't said anything like this.
Oh my God.
It's so the anxious laugh when you don't understand what's.
I'm being gaslit up the fucking wazoo.
Oh, okay. Oh, you've pulled into like the psych terms now. When is the like you creepily hitting on me come in? Is that next?
Continue.
Wait for that one.
Continue what you were saying, Boots.
Yeah. So, sorry. What was the question? I'm confused. Sorry.
So she was saying that language is the realest thing according to Butler, and you were saying no, that's not actually what Butler says. And then you were saying that actually language creates reality, and so I'm asking you to like verbally separate those two.
Yeah. So like language creates and is reality because the only way in which we can see things is through language. Like if we didn't have language, we wouldn't have any understanding of what quote unquote reality is. But the way that this doesn't have anything to do with like there's this weird disconnect between Lav's understanding of performativity and then like what she's describing as material like I don't understand what she means by material reality.
I mean physical actuality. Hold on, let me write this down. Maybe if I write it down, I won't. I can get it together.
But this is this shows a fundamental misunderstanding. Like what you were explaining is exactly like when you are using language to explain this physical reality, you are constructing it as well.
Hold on. I think that we're talking past each other. I literally
I
feel like
think that we are as well.
I'm saying exactly what you're saying to me.
That's
and
not
so
true.
Let me just write it down very quickly so that I can physically check this the next time you try to tell me that I'm not saying what you're saying.
Well, so when you keep saying, Lav, like a material reality, like there's an objective reality outside of language. And so one of the examples you gave is without the word rock, a rock is still a rock. And so
yes.
I think what other people would wonder is, well, how is that separate from anything else around the rock? How do we know that the rock is not the ground or that a tree is not the ground? How do we know that these are separate things? Like, how is it objectively a separate thing?
I guess that's I just this is where it gets so like deconstructed that it's like
it's not deconstructed. Like this is why I go to like, this is why I go to like
theory from nothing's real. Nothing's real, nothing is material, we're all just like living here, like, and then that doesn't like it doesn't make any sense to keep going there. And you can go there for the sake of like self-masturbating, but there's no real reason to stay here.
This is why it drives me fucking insane when you try to like argue against Sunday, because you just have this fundamental misunderstanding of what he's saying. And I don't agree with him. I even disagreed with things in his opening statements, but he understands the material so much more than you do. Because you had no response to it.
I'm not listening to what you're saying right now. Hold on. I'm like actually writing something.
Okay. Well, maybe you should write this next bit down, because this is what you should actually pay attention to. And maybe next time you have a debate, you can quote me on this, just like you quoted me in this one on our last debate.
Okay. Judith Butler attempts to deconstruct the body in a way that the self-constituting, stable, centered subject, the being, has been deconstructed. And Butler claims that we're in a theoretical realm beyond the frameworks of materialism and idealism. I do not agree.
What is idealism and what is materialism?
I do not agree with saying there is no meaningful distinction between like matter.
So like matter has nothing to do with idealism or materialism.
And discourse.
But you would know that if you knew anything about these two terms.
I don't know what you're saying.
I know you don't know. That's my whole fucking point, Lav. Just shut the fuck up until you actually learn.
No, you're saying.
Why do you insist upon like debating people who know way more than you and then pretending like you win?
You saying things does not make them true. So you saying that I know nothing does not make it true. You are saying fucking nothing. All you've done here is being like, what is material reality? What is physical actuality? Like, you're asking me questions that you don't know the answers to, and then you're like saying like, yeah, right, like you're having like a moment. I don't know like what the fuck.
That's very true. I am having a moment. That's what I'm doing.
Butler first of all insists that there is no access to matter prior to its conceptualization in thought and language. We can only perceive matter, things, reality, and therefore bodies through concepts. Materiality is that which is bound up with significant from the start, states Butler. With regard to specific categories of sex, Butler draws attention to the act of girling a baby the moment of birth on the basis of the genitals, read as a sign of prior natural girlhood. We see the baby through the mediating categories affixed to the external sex organs and infer that those traits have some sort of real meaning or natural status. Butler, on the contrary, argues that sexed men and women cannot be said to actually exist outside of these categories, and that there is no way to ground sex in any kind of material reality.
So tell me what exactly you disagree with.
So I literally just said that is what Butler believed. earlier, literally 15 minutes ago,
But
and you
yeah,
said
that's what you said.
no. You said no, 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 no. Yes, that is what I said, Boots. Like I agree. Like I disagree that is the only thing, that language is the only thing that makes something true, that makes something
True
reality.
or real? Which one did you mean?
Reality. So true or
Okay,
real.
real.
They're the same.
Okay,
Yes,
they're the
true
same
or
thing.
real.
They're the same thing now.
Boots.
Mhm.
This is
I'm
win-needing
asking.
behavior. Boots, this is
Because they're not the
win-needing
same
behavior.
thing. But if you're treating them as the same, I will speak in your
Boots,
language.
this is win-needing behavior. This is win-needing behavior. Relax, okay? I believe that there is a material reality separate to Judith Butler's theory that language is the only thing that informs how we view things. I believe that there is physical actuality. Is Big Tech waiting? Bring that fucker in now.
That is not
How
happening.
come? Why not?
That is
That's
not
my baby
happening.
boy. Why not?
Do you think that Judith Butler doesn't
You
believe
hate Big Tech?
physical reality?
I don't hate Big Tech. That is not happening.
Why?
Maybe later. That is not happening right now.
Okay.
Don't blame me. I didn't say anything. I'm not scared of Big Tech like Tom.
Oh no, you're scared of Big Tech?
I'm scared of Big Tech, yes. Okay, so Boots, when she says deconstructing, what issue do you have with what she's using deconstruct to mean?
Well, I don't think that she knows what deconstruct means. Like, that's not my big problem with what Lav is saying.
Well, over and
your
over,
argument
she's
is
used
that-
deconstruct to explain that we are separating all of these categories to better understand them, and then like putting some in a group of like language and only understood through language. And she's saying that this is deconstructing things. And then you said, well, I don't think you know what deconstructing is. And so I feel like that's like a big part of the disagreement then here, because if she believes that that is deconstructing and you don't believe that's deconstructing.
That is deconstructing. But when she says like deconstructing is something that is like useless or whatever, when you're talking about, especially when you went into Sunday's debate, talking about what is a woman.
I did not say it was useless. I said that is true, but I also I think that Judith Butler is explaining what everyone who has like one semester in college knows, and is that language informs the reality and that social constructs exist and they imprison us, right? I understand I'm just saying that is not the only thing that we should think about and talk about when giving prescriptions for.
Yeah, so this isn't what you argued with Sunday about. So the truth is that language both is and constructs reality. Language builds the reality that we have. And language has built these genders that we both, like, we ascribe to, that we attribute sex to the genders. The sex is connected to the gender. So, like, saying that the sex is something that is quote unquote real to you is something that is built upon this, like, this concept of gender that is just as deconstructible as sex. But you
would like
are giving
to throw
it so
this
much
out
value.
here. These are all things that we had gone over before you jumped in here. So far, everything that has been over.
No. So what you did, Tom, is you let her like talk around all of these things. And you like would just like basically fillet Lav.
Get away with it. Let me get away with it.
Literally let her get away with it because she had no answers for any of these questions.
Hold on, I'm doing some reading on Wikipedia.
Yeah, I believe it. I mean, like, what were you quoting earlier? When you read to me exactly what Judith Butler believes?
I was literally just reading you from, like, I just looked it up and read you something.
Yeah, I believe it. That's what you do.
Yes. I wanted to make sure that I was being as succinct as possible so that we could discuss the course
the way
material.
that you know that you understand material, unless you're an artist like Sunday, which, you know, no offense to him, we're totally cool now that, you know, this terrible debate has happened, which I was rooting for you, by the way. He's not very good at explaining things succinctly. If you understand the material, though, generally you should be able to explain it.
And literally, I'm pretty sure President Sunday said that I understood all these things in the debate. He said, "You're smart." He said, "You're smart. You seem to get all these things." And I was like, "Yep."
Yeah,
Yep.
I don't think that he thinks that you understand anything that you're talking about.
Slay mind read. Slay mind read. Oh.
Oh, well, no, I mean, President Sunday was in chat earlier. I'm sure that he can respond now if he thinks that you've got a firm grasp on
Hold on,
this.
do you hear my puppy is dreaming?
Yes, we hear it.
Like, it's just so insane to me that, okay, so I understand why, like, normies
What's
would
so
think...
insane?
Well,
Normies?
I would tell you if you would
Boots,
just
do you
not
think
interrupt me.
normies?
Yeah, normie is like people... I'm not a normie, okay? I fucking read all day.
You're not a normie. You're the fucking smartest person alive.
I'm super not smart, and I realize that. You, on the other hand, should realize you're not as smart as you think you are, but you don't
I'm
read
not
enough
smart
to
at
know
all.
that.
I'm not smart at all.
All right, well, nice to have that admission.
I can pick up a little concept. I can do what needs to be done. But
Yeah. Like,
I think I'm a normie. I
yeah.
absolutely think that I'm a normie.
So anyway, normies can sort of understand what you're saying, and they think it sounds correct because you're using words that they understand. But when you dive into these deeper concepts, you can't just talk about things like, it's obviously describing material reality. Sex is material reality. Like, this is not a deep dive into the idea of what is a woman. You can't deep dive if you are explaining material reality when you're talking about what is a woman.
So, Boots, level with
Yeah.
me. You understand that what Butler thinks a woman is, what Butler thinks a girl is, requires the physical actuality, the
No.
material existence of external reproductive organs.
The performance creates the reality.
You think the performance creates the material existence of the external reproductive organs?
No, it doesn't have to do with the external reproductive organs.
Okay, that's what I'm talking about. This would be the rock that exists. Right? So do you believe that her definition of a girl requires the physical actuality or the material existence of the external genitals?
I mean, this is where you have to like dive into Lacan. Because this is like
Boots,
in the
answer the damn question. Boots, answer the damn question.
But this is what I'm saying.
Boots,
You can't
answer
just
the
answer
question.
this question and
Boots,
like
answer the question.
Okay. Well, I can answer the question. So
Thank you.
What you're trying to say is that like can somebody perform as a woman if they have different genitals
Nope.
from
Nope.
a woman? And my answer is no.
With Judith okay.
But with
So you don't agree with Butler?
Well, so like the way that Butler explains so Butler dismisses Lacan in a few very interesting ways where she thinks that he ignores like historicity. But this is not something that I can talk about with somebody who has not read Lacan.
Explain it to me. I can pick it up.
Yeah, so like let me think.
You seem well versed.
Yeah, so like Butler thinks that when you look at like psychoanalysis, right? You know, like you can think about Freud. Like everybody knows about Freud shit. That like the genitals are something that are like sort of create who you are going to be in the future. And like your absence of the genitals or like the presence of the genitals or something that like changes the way that you are going to view yourself and then like perform in the future. Yeah?
Did you misunderstand my question?
No, I'm trying to explain it to you like I would a retard.
No, but you're not even answering the question in any measure. Like you are.
Yeah, so that's like this
Do you
is how
not
you
want to get
explain
caught
things.
up? Do you not want to get caught
I mean,
up?
I just have to like take steps, you know. So like, I just have to make sure you understand this before I can move on to point
I
two.
understand the concept of genitals, and I understand the concept of gender imposition on the genitals. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So like, it's not imposition. It's just that that's how we are based upon like our relations with other people and our relations with ourselves when we form our identity. So Butler seems to think that this is something that is static. This is a universal. She thinks that Lacan thinks this is universal. Sort of like a an axiom, if we could say. You know, axiom? A lot of debate bros use that word.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But I think this is a misreading. And that it is because of the heteronormative relationship that is typical of the family structure that we have. So it's not that like the woman is something that is attached to female genitals the way that we see it. It's that the way that it is now, because of our heteronormative relationships structure.
Girlness can only exist. There is no girlness pre-existing the vagina.
I don't know what that means. Girlness?
Yes, there is no idea of girl pre-existing the genitals, the vaginal, the vulva.
Sure, you could say that. But does the vagina mean that girl necessarily exists and ought exist?
That's not what we're arguing. So this is why Butler is retarded, is because her definition.
I don't agree with Butler. Do you have any response to anything that I said instead of just coming up with your own response?
I asked you a question and you didn't answer it, and then I don't even know why we're talking about it now.
Right. So like you asked me to explain something that is like impossible to explain and to somebody who like hasn't read the same things that I have. Which is what Butler a lot of her ideas are based on. So like I tried to do it in really like retard words for you, but you still didn't listen and then just came up with a girlness is vagina. This is a very smart laugh. I'm asking for a response to what I said
earlier. Tom, I said this to you earlier. And there is a point at which you read so much that you like just get so lost in your own like masturbatory like intelligence that you forget that actuality exists.
Okay, so okay, look, no, I can do this in really dumb words, Lav, okay?
Before the vagina. There is no femaleness before the vagina. Meaning,
Lav, have you heard like in some of the wikis books that you've read that like there is no connection between like male sexuality and female sexuality? Have you heard that?
Sorry, repeat yourself?
Have you heard that there's like no connection between male sexuality and female sexuality?
Sure, I've heard that.
Yeah, that comes from Lacan, and this is kind of what I'm talking about.
And you agree with that?
Yes. Is that there is a disconnect between males and females to where it's not that female is the opposite of male, it's that there is a gap between, and for the people that are more informed, the gap is the universal. But there is always going to be the gap. Like I, as a female, cannot understand what it's like to be a male. My impression of man or maleness is not going to be the same as like a man or a male's impression
but any of our impressions do not exist before the genitals of male.
Okay, irrelevant.
Before the physical, that's not irrelevant, Boots. What the fuck are you talking about?
Okay, Lav, it is completely irrelevant. Like you can talk about this if you're talking about like in a practical way.
Boots, you are the most pseudo-intellectual person I have literally, even more so than President Sunday, that
Dude,
I
I
have
love
literally heard in
it's
my
still
in my
true. Every
entire life.
insult that she gives other people is one that she should reserve for herself. It's nuts.
Right. Tom, what do you think?
I'm in the middle of like timing out half my chat, so
Oh, good. Oh, is it
sorry.
why won't you let Big Tech on?
Because this is like one, I brought you on to talk to you about the debate between you and President Sunday. Boots wanted to talk to you about it as well, so I'm allowing her to like get her questions in and talk to you about it. If I bring Big Tech in, there's no way he even saw the debate. There's no way he has any clue what we're talking about. There's no way he's going to have anything to add to this conversation.
He told me that he watched the debate.
Okay,
He told
maybe
me
he watched the debate. I've talked to him about like
Why don't
gender
we
a couple
try
days
it?
ago.
Why don't we try it, and then you can kick him out if it goes bad? You have all the power.
We can try it later. I'm enjoying this conversation so much. I do not want to.
Yeah, so much that you don't know what's going on.
Well, you don't know
for
what's going
half
on
a
either,
second.
right? Like I've been trying to explain things to you in like super dumbed down terms. But you still like are unable to grapple with anything that I've said. Because I agree with you.
What do you want me to grapple with?
Leva, remember when I like you first joined and you were like you were a TERF to me?
Sure.
Yeah. Like I believe that trans women are not women, okay? So I'm the kind of person
what
that
do
you
we
should
disagree
talk
on?
to. Well, if you had fucking listened, then you would understand what we disagree on. Because you just have no understanding of what a woman actually is. And how womanness is tied to femaleness in a way that is socially constructed. You're like, oh no, it's just material reality. Yes, so is womanness.
Okay. So we get to the same conclusion, but you take the scenic.
No, we don't get to the same conclusion because I don't think that you have arrived at any conclusion. I think that you actually just hate men and also hate women.
Well, some of that is true. I do hate men.
Yeah, that's pretty fucked up.
Cry about it. Cry about it.
Yeah, I'm gonna cry. Me, a woman who's like, I wouldn't say a radical feminist, but you're not a radical feminist either. So I don't think you can claim that. Yeah, take your fucking eyelashes off, love.
I think I'm radical feminist adjacent.
Yeah, we all are as women.
I don't think that that's true at all.
Okay. I don't care what you have to think. Obviously, you know nothing about this.
Okay. You win, Boots. I'm exhausted.
Yeah, I know it is exhausting to have to think. You didn't understand a single fucking thing that I said when we dove into.
I don't know what you're saying that is different than me. I
know that you don't understand. It's nuts.
Then tell me what you're saying that is different to what I've said, please.
Well, I'm not going to say everything that I've said again because everything that I'm saying is different from you because we agree on absolutely nothing. Basically, what you were saying is that people with vaginas are females and women, and that's truth, and that's material reality, and that's not how I think of it at all. Even though that might be true according to like whatever material reality is to you. It's like such a shallow view and a shallow understanding that it's not even worth engaging with because it's like having a debate about like what a word means and you're like, what do you mean? What does a word mean? Or what is a rock? What do you mean what is a rock? A rock is right there. In front of me.
So then how would you in Lacanian language legislate that trans women are not women?
Well, I explained that I don't know what you mean by legislate.
So a lot of my feminism.
I think you mean explicate, the word that I used earlier, which you said was incorrect, but I can use it again and it's correct here as it was then.
So a lot of the way that I talk about like transness in relation to femaleness in relation to segregated sex spaces is a very simplified version so that we can legislate, because I believe in single sex spaces. So maybe you agree with that, maybe you don't, but because you are so gung-ho on, on Lacanian principles, I would like you to explain, using Lacanian language, how to legislate for single sex spaces.
You want me to use psychoanalysis to
Yeah.
to create laws?
Yes.
Okay. So, like,
She's
as I was
asking how she would do this differently. Like, if she's trying to speak normally to people in a way that they would understand, she's asking, like, how would you do it through the way that you're saying she should be talking?
And this is the problem I had with Sunday, was that this is just, you're up here. You're existing up here.
okay, so what I came in here to talk about is your debate
she
with
can't
Sunday.
answer.
No,
She
I can
can't
answer. I can answer. It's I mean,
Go
it's
ahead.
just a different question than what I came in here to answer. So what you're asking is like in a different field than what is a woman, which was your debate with Sunday. Now, apart from what is a woman, it is how do we keep women in women's spaces and men in men's spaces.
Mm-hmm.
These are two totally different things. So how do we legislate like this divide between maleness and femaleness?
Uh-huh.
I don't know.
Yeah, it's because
I think that we should have it.
It's because it is useless and inapplicable to real life.
So, but you're the one that set the debate topic, right? Like, so Sunday wanted to debate if trans women were women.
Well, yeah, sure.
You
but the whole-
wanted to
what is a woman?
debate what is a woman.
Yes, because what is a woman is like it's like a buzz term right now. It's
Well, yeah, but you're talking about
under the
Sunday. So you're
umbrella,
like when you're asking like a metaphysical question. Like,
it was sure. I didn't realize how autistic he was. I'd never seen any.
it's
of
not
his
autistic.
content.
Like that's just an accurate answer for the question.
I thought that we were going to debate transness in general. The what is a woman thing was obviously Matt
Well, no,
Law
you said that you didn't want to
buzz term.
debate are trans women, and that you wanted to debate what is a woman.
I said I wanted the debate name to be what is a woman.
Oh, okay. So like that was the question that was being asked in the debate. Not are trans women. But you mostly wanted to talk about trans people.
Let's look at what Wick and I. Wick, President Sunday. Let's see.
So I'll say, in simple terms, the reason that like a trans woman is not a woman is because being born with male genitals, they are performing and are expected to perform as a male, and the disconnect between females and males, there is no sexual relation there. So even though they might
what is a woman is a more compelling pitch as a debate.
Yeah, okay, anyway. So like though they might think that they are performing femininity, what they are performing is a bastardization of femininity. It's not the same thing. So I would still consider them men, even though they are not performing masculinity. That's what we disagree on, I guess. Oh my god, yeah, it's so boring. Performatively yawn.
Well, no, I'm becoming a little anxious, and when I get anxious, I forget to inhale, so my body would then naturally yawn because I am anxious.
Yeah. Another Klonopin then?
Maybe it's about that time.
A few more?
A few more? First of all, I've never taken more than 0.25 milligrams of Klonopin at a time.
I'm sure.
I'm not a very good Klonopin addict. But what was I talking about? Fuck. Yeah, I mean, I agree with you saying that the gender role, the femininity that they think that they're performing is a bastardization of femininity, and that femininity really doesn't mean anything.
I never said that femininity doesn't mean anything.
Well, I don't. I
think it
don't
does
think it
mean
means
something.
anything. I think it's arbitrary.
Why? Arbitrary. What does arbitrary mean?
I don't think that gender roles and our understanding of them are based in any immutable, innate
This has nothing to do with what I said.
substance. This is okay. Then I completely misunderstood.
Yeah, as usual.
True.
You have no responses to anything that I say because you don't understand what you're talking about.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I'll talk to you
Okay.
guys later then.
Talk to you later.
That was fun.
Yeah, I had a lot of fun. Tom, what does arbitrary mean?
It doesn't mean anything.